Hello, in this series where we dive into the depths of perfume chemistry, we're now heading to one of the world's most mysterious and valuable scents, ambergris. In this video, we touch on the mysterious and luxurious story of ambergris. We explore how it has become a symbol of value on its journey from ancient civilizations to modern perfumery. We'll talk about its extraordinary connection with whales, how it has been used throughout history, and how it deepens luxury fragrances today. If you're curious about the role of ambergris in perfumes, its usage rates, and why it's still considered a unique material, let's continue. Ambergris is not just a scent. It is the intersection of a legend thousands of years old, a biological defense mechanism, a long chemical and alchemical journey within the sea, and modern perfume technology. It's an extraordinary story where science, history, commerce, and mythology are all intertwined. Like in alchemy, it is a black gold that represents transformation. Ambergris has fascinated people for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians burned it as incense during sacred ceremonies and in mummification. In China, it was believed to be the solidified breath of sleeping dragons. In medieval Europe, it was worn around the neck to protect against the plague. King Charles II of England is said to have loved eggs sprinkled with ambergris, while Casanova supposedly added it to his chocolate mousse, believing it had aphrodisiac effects. People didn't know where it came from, but they were captivated by its effects. So it was seen as a kind of precious black gold with mysterious origins. The origin of ambergris lies in the relationship between giant sperm whales and squids. When whales eat giant squids, they can't digest the squid's hard and sharp beaks. This piece, it irritates the whale's intestines, and the whale's body secretes a waxy substance to coat these foreign objects, much like an oyster produces a pearl around a grain of sand. This substance accumulates, hardens, and over time is expelled by the whale. But the real transformation begins after this solid mass mixes with the ocean. Over many years, under the influence of sunlight, salt water, oxygen, and microorganisms, this substance changes color. Its scent matures and turns into a kind of natural alchemy. When it first comes out, this substance is dark, oily, and has a rather unpleasant smell, but over the years it turns into a silvery, light gray color. It transforms into a captivating perfume note that brings together the sea breeze, tobacco-like textures, woody warmth, and an earthy depth. Today, we know the real chemistry behind this magical scent. The main component of ambergris is a scentless alcohol derivative called ambrine. What actually gives it its scent are compounds like ambrox, which are formed when ambrin oxidizes and breaks down during its years-long journey in the ocean. These molecules stabilize the top notes in perfume and add depth to the scent. This way, they help the fragrance blend with the skin and last for a long time. In other words, ambergris acts like an invisible backbone in perfume. It creates a molecular framework that carries the scent and gives it body. Of course, in the modern world, collecting ambergris from whales is both unethical and illegal in many countries. Chemist Leopold Ruzicka deciphered the structure of ambrox and succeeded in synthesizing it in the laboratory. This was a revolution in the history of perfume. Today, most of the world's biggest perfume brands use synthetic analogs like Amberxan, Cetalox, Ambermax, and Cashmerin instead of natural ambergris. These are more sustainable and more consistent, and they are solutions that don't harm whales. But not every synthetic compound is safe. Old nitro musks and some problematic amber derivatives are no longer used today because they pose a risk to the environment. In modern perfumery, green chemistry principles, bio-based raw materials, and nature-friendly Amberxan variants are now coming to the forefront. Ambergris is always used as a base note in perfume. Because of its molecular structure, it carries the scent for a long time. Oriental perfumes, woody, marine-themed scents, and unisex perfumes blended with tobacco and sandalwood are the categories where the effect of ambergris fits best. It increases the longevity of fast-evaporating top notes like bergamot and makes the perfume deeper and more luxurious. To give some modern examples, some very well-known luxury brands are almost entirely built around the character of Amberxan. The usage rate varies depending on the design of the perfume. Since natural ambergris is very expensive and potent, it is usually used in concentrations between 0.1% and 1%. For synthetic ambergris derivatives, this ratio varies depending on the molecule. All of these are adjusted according to the concentration in the perfume, its interaction with other ingredients, and the desired longevity. The trade of this scent is still controversial today. It is completely banned in countries like the USA, Australia, and India, because it falls under whale products. However, in countries like the UK, Switzerland, and France, its trade is legal because it is considered a waste naturally expelled by whales. Although there is no clear ambergris trade law in Turkey, there have been cases where smuggled ambergris has been seized. It is a substance that has historically been highly valued in the Arab world. In some Arab trading traditions, ambergris holds significant cultural meaning. There are records of ambergris imports in Russia and China. For this reason, natural ambergris is now found only in very niche perfumes, collectible fragrances, or special productions. The story of ambergris is, in fact, the story of nature, chemistry, and humanity's shared curiosity spanning thousands of years. This process, which begins with a whale's defense mechanism, is enriched by the sea's long alchemical journey, is magnified by legends throughout history, and finally, transforms into innovative perfume technologies under the light of modern science. That's why it still remains so fascinating today. It's completely natural, incredibly mysterious, and highly sophisticated all at once. In the next video, we'll continue with another important scent. Stay tuned for oud, a fragrance synonymous with status, hospitality, and ritual. See you next time. Goodbye.